This is one of my favorite things to make around the holidays, and it's definitely one of my family's favorites. Pumpkin cheesecake, and we're gonna put a little bourbon spiked whipped cream on top. To start with, we've got some graham crackers and a little bit of melted butter. This is just gonna be the base of our cheesecake. I like to mix this one by hand. The best tools you got in the kitchen are these two right here. Mix those roughly together, and then we're gonna line the bottom of a springform pan with our graham cracker crust here. And you just wanna pat that down all the way around the edges. This will just make the very base of our cheesecake for us. Make sure you get a nice even coat all the way around. The next step, we're gonna start with some cream cheese. It's already been softened. I like to get this out at least a couple of hours ahead of time. Make sure your cream cheese is not too stiff or it'll never blend up. We're gonna use some pumpkin filling. You can use pumpkin straight out of a can. If it's the right season and you can get sugar pumpkins, it's a wonderful thing, but typically the canned pumpkin is the easiest to find and the easiest to use. After that, we're gonna add sugar, eggs, and then here's our spices. We've got some cinnamon, allspice, ginger, clove, and brown sugar. Everything goes right in there together. We get our mixer started. Absolutely important to start this on low. Do not turn this all the way to high and let it rip, or you'll have cream cheese all over the kitchen. We start this on low, very slowly start working the speed up just a little bit until everything is completely incorporated. Now, periodically while this is mixing, from time to time, I'm going to take a rubber spatula and scrape down the edges of the bowl. Otherwise, you'll end up with some parts that never get fully incorporated. At least 3 or 4 times during the blending, we'll stop and do this. There we go. Once our mixture has gotten to where there's not a lot of lumps in it, it's time to go into our springform pan. Right on top of that graham cracker crust. I'm gonna pour that smooth mixture all the way to the top. And then I like to bake this in a water bath. This helps get a nice uniform texture all the way through without a lot of cracks on top. So we've taken our springform pan and coated it with a little foil on the outside. That'll keep water from getting in your cheesecake and drenching the whole thing. Then we'll just take some warm water, fill it up around the edge. So as this bakes in a water bath, it'll get a much more consistent temperature from top to bottom. The cheesecake will cook very evenly. Keeps it from cracking all over the top. Then we're gonna bake this in a still oven at 325 degrees for about 45 minutes. But you always wanna give it the jiggle test. If it's still jiggling, it's not cooked all the way through. As soon as it hardens up and is set all the way through, that's when it's done. I'm gonna check it and see what it looks like here. We're gonna give it the jiggle test. It's not jiggling in the middle, it's firm, set up nicely. This is perfect. Now what we wanna do is take this out of the oven when it's finished, put it in the fridge, and let it completely set up and cool down before we try to unmold it and pull it out of the pan. Now I'm gonna show you how we make a little bourbon spiked cinnamon whipped cream to top our cheesecake. Anytime I make whipped cream, you always wanna make sure it's as cold as possible. It'll whip better. So I've taken my bowl and my whip and stored those in the freezer for a while. They just came out, they're ice cold. We're gonna add in some heavy whipping cream. Again, ice cold is best. We're gonna give it some powdered sugar, cinnamon, brown sugar. All those are going right in, and we will start whipping. Slowly at first, work your way up. Once it starts to whip here, I'm going to add just a little bit of Texas bourbon. This is one of my favorites here, Garrison Brothers. There we go. That is the consistency I'm looking for. You want it to be nice, stiff peaks that'll actually hold up a little bit. Nice, firm texture. Not too stiff. Just that beautiful, soft, fluffy whipped cream. It's got some sugar in it, a little cinnamon in it, and plenty of Texas bourbon. Oh, yeah. We've had a chance to let our pumpkin cheesecake chill for a while in the fridge. It's time to take it out of our springform pan. To keep it from sticking to the sides, we always start with a knife. We go all the way around just to make sure we've got a nice clear path. I usually take at least a couple of laps around on this one. Then we can release it from the pan. All right, then we'll take that cheesecake. I'm just going to grab one nice healthy slice right out of the middle. This is my favorite part of the holidays. Pumpkin cheesecake. I'm going to give it a nice, healthy topping of our bourbon spiked whipped cream with a little cinnamon.